This is my match footage for the January 2022 T-Gun Action Challenge match at Fairfax Rod and Gun Club. The temperature started at 16 degrees. GoPro batteries do not like temperatures that low, so there's no GoPro camera footage today. This was a pistol-only stage. You start at the opposite end of where you start shooting. Crawl under the tables, and I'm wearing hard knee pads, so I can't get any traction in the snow, which was hilarious. Sling your rifle or ground it. Engage the Texas Star. Ground your pistol on the table or the barrel. Go under the table, and if you ground your pistol on the table, you got to be really careful about knocking the table so that you don't knock your gun off and get yourself DQ'd. Engage the 4 poppers from the next shooting position. Ground your pistol on the table or barrel. Go under the next table and spin the spinner. The spinner was a literal last-minute change to the stage design because we originally had 2 swingers that you were to engage, but it was so cold we couldn't get the spinners assembled. For this stage, you're engaging all of the same targets as you did in the first stage. You're here at 50 yards, shooter's choice on shooting position, knock over or knock off all 5 plates off the Texas Star, knock down each of the 4 poppers, and then hit the top plate and the bottom plate of the spinner. Unload your rifle, show clear to the RO, and then grab the ammo can and move to the second shooting position and spin the spinner with your pistol. I'd like to point out that it's still 16 to 18 degrees. The ground is freezing cold. I'm wearing 5 layers of clothing, and all of those layers make maneuvering very difficult. Grabbing the pistol out of its holster was a stretch. Grabbing magazines out of the mag carriers was awkward. You just lose so much mobility. I just don't have like dedicated winter clothing. It doesn't get this cold normally here in the Northern Virginia area, so we did what we can. For this stage, you're about 5 yards uprange of a 40 millimeter ammo can that now weighs about 50 to 55 pounds. You move it to the first designated spot, go to the VTAC, charge your rifle, engage 2 full-size IDPA IPSC targets at 200 yards, 2 shots each, no double taps, from one of the marked ports on the VTAC barricade. Ground your rifle, move the ammo can to the next designated spot, come back to the VTAC barricade, re-engage the 2 targets at 200 yards from a different port on the VTAC barricade, and you must conduct a mandatory reload. Ground your rifle again, move the ammo can back to its starting position, come back to the VTAC barricade, conduct another mandatory reload, and engage the 2 targets from the 3rd port on the VTAC barricade. For me, that second port on the VTAC barricade is just a little high. So my stability is a little awkward, and so I was having trouble making good solid hits on the two targets downrange. But once I got to the third port, it was at a perfect height for me, so I shot that last string clean. For the last stage, we're down at the 200-yard berm. On the buzzer, climb the berm, which doesn't look like much, but it was a little slippery, and engage the two full-size targets. You're at 100 yards from them here. Two hits each, no double taps, from one tire, and then shift to the other tire and re-engage the two targets for a total of 4 more hits. Unload your rifle, show clear to the RO, come down the hill, go back uprange to about 25 yards from the targets that you'll see in a second. There's 2 gong targets, which you will engage with your pistol. 2 hits each, double taps were allowed. I got a little confused here as to where I was supposed to be. And then knock over all 10 of the knockover targets. This was the coldest 2-gun action challenge match we've ever hosted here at the club. The day started at 16 degrees, finished at 32 degrees, and we only had one shooter drop out due to an injury. Nobody dropped out due to the cold. I'm so proud of our competitors for living up to the ethos of 2-gun action challenge. I did way better than I expected, both in my division and overall. Scott Butler still kicked everybody's butt. I look forward to seeing you in the future for more match coverage.